Hi, I'm Margaret and welcome to Garden School. I'm out in the woods today because I was reminded of something about nettles. We have nettles here in the woods, and I try my best to remind my grandsons, watch out, there are the nettles close to the path, be careful. And they can recognize the plant and they know what it feels like to get a nettle burn or a nettle sting. But I experienced that when I was doing some weeding at the garden I volunteer in. There was a spirea shrub, a pretty big, tall thing, and right in the middle of it were a couple of nettle spikes, I don't know, not really spikes, but nettle stems that were at least 5 feet tall, probably 6 feet tall. And I thought, I think I can carefully grab that in a spot where I won't get hit by it. I was wrong. So we're going to talk a little bit about nettles, about what causes that irritation that you certainly feel. And believe me, I did feel it for over 24 hours, probably for 36 hours. I was really surprised about it. So anyway, we'll be in the classroom a little bit. I'll see you there in a little bit to talk about nettles. So the nettle plant has leaves that are serrated and they're opposite one another on the stem. So that's a pretty easy way to identify it out in the woods or wherever you might encounter the nettles. And then the flowers are a pretty indescript little thing. They come out right here underneath the leaves. I'm just going to use yellow, but they are a little pendant flowers, very indescript. Now on the stem itself, the stem and the leaves are covered with little tiny hairs. You may not even be able to see them. They're all over the place. And now close up, if you could look at it with a microscope, the little hairs have a little bulb at the end. And when you grasp that nettle or brush up against it, it breaks off the bulb, and what you have left is like a hypodermic needle. And what comes out of that hypodermic needle is formic acid. Yikes, that's the same stuff that is in ant stings and bee stings. That is really gonna hurt. So there we've got our nettle, and the one we have here is Urtica dioica, and that's here in our area of the Pacific Northwest. That's what you'll see for the nettle. So in World War I, in Germany, the fibers of the nettle plant were used in textiles. Now that would make some pretty uncomfortable clothing, unless of course they were de-stinging it, and they probably treated it first. Another item that nettles are used for is medicine. I'm not going to prescribe anything for you there. You can do your own work, see a naturopath or something else. But also nettles, young nettles, are steamed and used for food. Okay, now the indigenous people of the Pacific Northwest used nettles to make perhaps nets, because net and nettle come from the same root word. Who knew? I read of if you happen to get a nettle sting or a nettle burn, is to look for some common dock. Here is a great plant. This is, we call it sourdock or common dock. And it's a weed, it's a pretty vigorous weed. But to rub some of the leaves on your nettle burn will ease the pain. I may try that next time. If there's a next time, there probably will be. So I'm going to remember about dock. That might be good medicine for a nettle burn or a nettle sting. Anyway, there's always more to learn in the garden and in the woods. Bye-bye.